Hey, how's it going, guys? Happy holidays, one and all. Merry Christmas. I think by the time you're seeing this, I hope, I swear, I hope, I pray I can get this out on time for Christmas. If not, then it's gonna be really awkward. But I mean, it will still kind of be within the kind of holiday season frame, I guess, at least at the very latest by Boxing Day. But hey, here's hoping, fingers crossed for Christmas. But yeah, regardless, happy Christmas, happy holidays. If you maybe if you don't celebrate Christmas or anything, then happy holidays. If you don't celebrate any holiday, then hope you're having a great day or afternoon or evening or night or whatever, whenever you're watching this, however you're watching this. But if you do celebrate Christmas, then happy Christmas, happy holidays. Hope you've had a great day. Whoever you're spending with, if you're spending it with people or alone, hope you've had some amazing food, and hope if you've received anything, then hope you've had some great gifts and you're enjoying them and having a great kind of seasonal time overall. Um, but yeah, this is this is one of my Christmas gifts to you. A kind of not, I mean, not specifically a Christmas themed Buffy reaction, because I have no idea if there are any actual kind of holiday themed episodes on this show. If there are, clearly I haven't gotten to them yet. But a Buffy reaction on Christmas is my gift to you. It's I'm dressed Christmassy. It's very minimally decorated. It's Christmas, and you're hopefully watching this reaction on time. But yeah, so that is my gift to you. So happy holidays and everything. So yeah, but yeah, that's a Christmas intro. But yeah, on to so yeah, Buffy, season one, episode number 9. Last time we had episode number 8, which usually comes before 9. We had 8. We had a fun kind of demonic Ultron themed episode. A demon from way back when in the 1800s getting trapped in a book and then being opened from said book by Willow, and Willow scanning said demon into the computer and then being catfished by said demon in the computer under the alias of, I think, Malcolm Black or something his name was, and he pretended to be like a fellow high school student and everything, and he brainwashed like a couple of other kind of computer nerd kids, and he did some stuff, and then finally in the end, the very end, he got like an actual kind of like an actual like kind of android body and everything, which was not indestructible, wasn't made of vibranium or anything. He was made of like a fully destructible metal, and he was destroyed by one kind of like a very well placed punch to a fuse box or something. So he was destroyed in the end. But that wasn't before he actually managed to kind of lure Willow in and start to kind of try and manipulate her with secrets and some kind of secret romance and all that kind of jazz. So we had an episode where even Willow herself actually gets a chance to explore her own kind of twisted, dark romance that ends up being a lie in the end. So, and even by the end of the episode, they actually all reference that like so far they've had nothing but misery and like twists and turns and very very false romantics and everything. So they're all kind of destined to just kind of be their own kind of little platonic kind of friend group, which is great in and of itself. So yeah, it was a fun episode in that sense. And we have also had like another potential kind of friendship. More yeah, another friendship that's kind of like has its own potential to either be more or to stay as great as it is, and that was between Ms. Calendar, the new computer science teacher, and also and as we know, Mr. Giles too. So it's gonna take me a while to actually add the Mr. before Giles, because I'm so used to calling him Giles. So I think if I ever say Miss Calendar and Giles, then just kind of just take it as it is or something. But yeah, so Mr. Giles and Miss Calendar, they met and they were introduced, and they kind of they didn't necessarily get off on the wrong foot, but they just kind of butted heads a lot when it came to their kind of viewpoints on on resources and how information should be shared and consumed and everything. Giles is very much a bookworm in the kind of most kind of dedicated and fanatic of ways, whereas Miss Calendar believes in the beauty and the ubiquitousness of computers and technology and the kind of ease of access through computers and everything. So they kind of butt heads just a little bit, but in the end, it was actually revealed that she was I think there was actually a word for it. I think she was a techno pagan. So she studies demons and the kind of mysticness, like demons and like the divine and mysticism in like within technology. So any kind of demons that and dark forces that try and hide throughout technology in any shape or form. I mean, she did say. I mean, I think the focus was on computers, and I think she might have mentioned computers, but I think she also might have mentioned technology too. So then, when she says technology, my mind like sometimes takes really really broad labels and descriptions and just runs off with them. So when she says computers and technology. I of course understand the computers because we dealt with computers last episode. But then when she says technology, I genuinely I genuinely cannot help but imagine a demon trying to hide in something like a toaster or a fridge or like just basic kind of electrical appliances like a toaster, fridge, an iron, like a microwave or something. If you want your popcorn, then too bad. It's now trapped in the microwave forever. It will never open again. The demon wants you to freaking starve or something. So, too bad. So the last episode was in some aspects kind of wacky enough to let you imagine that and to actually let you kind of still be able to imagine those kind of scenarios, but then it was still kind of dark enough with its own content and with its own kind of developments that it still kind of struck you and it still kind of seemed a bit weird and shocking and everything, so it still worked in its own ways, so that was fun. But yeah, so we had, I think his name was Moloch too. The actual demon's original name was actually Moloch the Corruptor, because that's what he does. He corrupts. He seduces and then he corrupts, and he does that kind of thing, and then he snaps your neck if you love him, and if he loves you back and everything. So so him. I'm actually not gonna say no. I was gonna make a comment about a certain character from another property, but you know what? No, I do not have the heart to go there. I have a heart, therefore I'm not going to go there. So yeah, if if you detected it, then you probably did. But if not, then never mind. It's Christmas. I'm not gonna do that. It's Christmas. I'm not. If it wasn't, if it wasn't Christmas, I might be feel mean enough. But it's Christmas, so no, I'm not gonna go there. So yeah, but that is pretty much I think that's pretty much what I've got from the last one. So yeah, Miss Canada, hopefully she stays on her hopefully, with the amount of history behind her too, with her being a techno pagan and also like her kind of potential with Giles too, I'm hoping she's not just like a one episode kind of one hit kind of wonder. She was wonderful in the one episode that she was in, but I'm hoping that wonderfulness is also expanded throughout the rest of the season, and hopefully it's like seeing how long she can actually last, or how long she can actually last on a show like this. So hopefully we can get far with her, but yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess we shall see. So that is pretty much all I've got from the last one. So on to episode number 9 of this really, really quite wild season of this amazing show, of this so far amazing show. So that is it. So on to the reaction, and you guys know the drill. The full length reaction for this one, because this will just be the fair use one for the fair use and everything, like the highlight and the best bits and everything. But if you want the full length version, then that one will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. So yeah, on to season 1, episode 9 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let's go. Puppets. Oh, puppets. Puppets and horror never really mix too well. Cordelia's back. Okay. Never thought I'd be happy to see Cordelia, but she was in like the episode a couple of episodes back.
Every generation is born one who must be the show. You cannot escape your destiny.
This is your destiny. As the watcher, you gotta watch. As the watcher, you gotta watch the talent show.
We think school events are stupid, and we think authority figures ought to be made fun of.
This is Mr. Snyder.
No,
oh boy.
Unless you do.
I think I just found 3 eager new participants for the talent.
Oh god, they have to take part in this shit now.
Please.
Just being like, well, how they turn freaking tables.
That detention is a time.
I know the 3 of you will come up with a wonderful act for the school to watch.
Oh god.
And mock.
And
laugh.
And oh god. I can already tell I'm not gonna like this guy. I'm really not gonna like this principal. This Giles just look really smug right now. He's trying so hard not to smile. Yeah.
Hey Morgan, would you like to tell some jokes?
Is the dummy gonna come to life? Is that gonna be the horror of this episode? Dummy's gonna come to life, right? Gonna be like some kind of Chucky-esque kind of episode. I haven't actually seen Chucky, so I have no idea how that goes down.
My jockey shorts are made out of better material.
Is he really doing that, or is he the dummy? That's actually pretty good. Huh. I'm still calling it. It's probably gonna come alive and do some shit. Yeah. That is one evil-looking dummy. Well, potentially evil-looking dummy. Oh, yeah. That's a really short enough kind of, low enough kind of vision to be the dummy.
I will be flesh.
Oh boy, that's the dummy. That's the dummy. That's Sid. Sid wants to come to life.
Into the hat, and out comes... Has anybody seen a rabbit?
Oh, you've lost a rabbit. God damn. You had one job, dude. One job.
What am I gonna do? Slay vampires on stage?
I mean, you could actually do that. You could stage an actual vampire stage, like a horror movie scene.
In front of other people? Then, no, I don't play.
No, okay.
Whatever happened to Corporal Punch?
Where did you come up with that voice?
It's kind of an imitation of my dad.
Is his dad's evil spirit or something going to be in the dummy? Is that what's going to be? We had a mother who body swapped with her daughter. Why not a puppet possessed by a father?
I know Principal Flutie would have said kids need understanding. Kids are human beings.
Yeah.
It's the kind of woolly-headed liberal thinking that leads to being eaten.
I think perhaps it was a little more complex than... Her heart was removed.
Oh boy, stole her heart.
Does that mean anything to you?
Whoa.
Besides...
Ouch.
Person driven to kill is it's more complex.
It could be anyone. It could be me.
Okay. I wouldn't go that far, will I?
It's not, though.
Oh, it's not. That's reassuring.
She was a really good dancer. Here, pick a card.
Oh, card tricks.
No, wait. Not that one. Pick this one.
It kind of defeats the element of magic, dude. You can't tell them what to pick.
Such a tragedy for me.
Oh, God, Cordelia.
Emma was like my best friend.
Emily.
It could have been me.
We can drink.
Oh, boy. Okay. Damn. Is that still Angel's coat? I think it must be, right?
Look out. Figure out who's gonna be next.
It's the dummy.
Supposed to...
It's the dummy. The dummy can talk on its own. Yeah, it can talk and move on its own.
Okay, Morgan, how about talking to me yourself now?
He said all he's gonna say.
It's okay, Sid. We're done.
Yeah, no, that dummy's possessed. That dummy is possessed to hell and back. Oh, God, such a creepy closing shot. God damn it. Oh, no. Oh. Buffy, it's literally right. You just have to look. It was in your line of sight. When you turned around, it was in your line of sight. How do you miss a slightly creepily ajar door?
2 to the left, 3 to the right.
Cha-cha, real smooth. Or just slam the locker in. Yeah, just, forget special codes.
There are things I will not tolerate. Students loitering on campus after school. Horrible murders with hearts being removed. And also smoking.
Oh,
Oh, I don't do any of those things.
good to know those are the boundaries.
You saw what she did, how strong she is.
Oh, yeah, no human could do that.
Last. Just this one more, and I'll be free.
One more and he'll be free. So he needs what, like hearts to live or hearts to survive or something?
Look, Mom, if you really love me and want to show your support, you'll stay away, far away.
Oh, hell no. No, this episode's about to make me hate dummies. This episode's gonna make me hate ventriloquist dummies. Like, I mean, horror in general kind of, I feel like it works to make you fear, like, really peculiar and really mundane things, but this is... Oh, God, scuttling on the floor. Fuck you, Sid. Go fuck yourself with a hand. Oh, God. Oh, God.
What is it?
In the bed, in the covers, there's something.
Where?
There is...
Oh, God, this is really getting to Buffy. A dummy. A
Probably
dummy is
right.
getting to Buffy.
Don't worry about it. I was dreaming about bills.
You dream about bills. You have nightmares about bills.
My song is about dignity and human feelings and personal hygiene or something.
Oh, very important topics to cover.
And no one is going to be feeling sappy after all that rock and roll.
That's a really good jumper. It looks really good on Cordelia. You know, she might be annoying at times, but she has a really fun dress sense.
Reference in here to a brotherhood of 7 demons who take the form of young humans. Every 7 years,
Young
these
humans.
demons need human organs, a brain and a heart, to maintain their humanity.
So vital organs, the brain and the heart.
Slightly less appealing.
Oh.
So Morgan could
Oh.
still be the guy.
Why is that actually a dummy out on the table? Why is the dummy out on the table? No, that's just gotta be a vision, right? I didn't even actually clock the environment properly beforehand. Why is the dummy out on the table?
Who can tell me how
Why is this
schools
allowed?
responded to this policy?
Morgan,
Morgan?
put the frickin' dummy away.
Morgan?
Okay, oh, I think Morgan is understandably innocent in all this. He's just being drained by that dummy day after day.
What do you mean gone?
Oh, Sid's on the loose.
Put it right here.
Sid's on the loose.
Hi, Buffy. Hi, Willow. Would you like to hear some off-color jokes?
No, thank you, Xander. You can shut the fuck up now.
Come on. I'm not real.
Xander, quit it.
Bye-bye now. I'm completely inanimate.
Of course, Sid's not saying anything now. Yeah. Oh, don't you fucking shining me. Don't you shining me.
You concentrate on reanimation.
That's also a really cute jumper. Cute jumpers in this show. Cute jumpers.
You can have the organ.
I'm not sure how safe it is.
Oh no, is the principal actually bad?
To be here.
And I know how to take care of myself.
Is Snyder actually bad? Where the fuck did he go? Where did he go in the space of 5 seconds? Xander? Xander? Oh.
Sid's gone. What? Oh.
Oh. Yes. Careful. The dummy could be anywhere, scuttling across the floor like a dummy. Oh no. Morgan? Has Morgan been harvested for his brain? Because he was already being drained. Has he been harvested for the brain? Oh god, knocked Buffy out with a frickin' chandelier. Oh god. You could very easily have died under that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on, Buffy, you're the Slayer. Use your strength. Use that strength, come on. Oh. 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 Oh, jeez. Screw you, dummy. Screw you, Sid.
You lost, and now you'll never be human.
Yeah, well, neither will you.
What?
What? I hunt demons. Yeah, you wouldn't know it to look at me. Let's just say there was me, there was a really mean demon, there was a curse, and the next thing I know, I'm not me anymore.
And ever since then, you've been a living dummy?
The kid here was right all along. I should have picked you to team up with.
I'm sorry, what?
Because you thought I was the demon.
You're strong, athletic, limber.
I'm so confused.
Vile.
So the dummy's not bad?
If I can get the last one, the curse will be lifted.
Is it the principal? Oh no, okay. Maybe it's not the principal then. I don't know. Just, wow, that threw me off. The demon, the dummy's actually not bad. It's a fucking demon hunter.
You're the Slayer?
Oh, he's aware. Damn. So Sid actually isn't bad. He's just
Slayer
a...
in the 30s.
Huh.
Korean chick. Very hot.
Okay.
We're talking muscle tone. Man, we had some times.
It's weird to hear a dummy talking about sex.
That was pre-dummy, all right?
I should kind of hope so.
So,
Of course, if you want to snuggle up and comfort me.
so that horny dummy thing really isn't an act, is it?
Oh, he's an old dude. He's been trapped in a dummy for God knows how long. Yeah. He's clearly aloe. Or at least, yeah, high libido.
Everybody,
Is it gonna be the principal? Is it gonna be the principal? Is he gonna be the really weird demon dude? He's weird enough for it, and he's really ominous enough for it.
Sid?
Did Sid disappear again? Oh god. Okay, Sid, we know you're the good guy now. You gotta stop disappearing on us. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta investigate him, Giles. A brain! Oh! A brain!
He was out for like half the year.
Check the school nurse's file.
Maybe he was sick with something.
Cancer ward.
Did he have a brain tumor? Brain
That's why
cancer.
he had all the headaches.
So his brain was
That guy still
unhealthy.
needs a healthy, intelligent brain.
In other words, I'm safe.
And it's gonna be looking for the smartest person around.
Oh god. Oh, poor Morgan. He had brain cancer and then he just got his brain ripped out of his head and then dead.
What's the square root of 841?
29.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, intellect is pretty, you know, attractive. Yeah. Oh, jeez. You know how a guillotine works, really? It comes down and
And Giles doesn't know it. He's with them all right now.
the guillotine dude has something weird on his hand,
I mean, he is
and then music
really-
played.
No, this way, your scalp gets sliced off, and your brains just come pouring out.
Oh no. Oh no. Mm. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, take out Mark. Come on, Buffy. You got him. You got him. There we go. Yeah. Come on. There we go. Come on. Just roundhouse kick him to the face. Just roundhouse kick him. There we go. Yep. There we go. Into the magic box you go. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh, here comes the demon. Here comes the demon. Ah, yeah, Sid's back. Sid's back. Yeah, go Chucky on his ass. Go Chucky. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yes, now guillotine him. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, hopefully that went for the full head and not just a half thing.
It's not enough.
The heart.
He'll come back.
Oh, I gotta go for the heart too.
Have to get the heart.
Let me.
I got it.
It's his curse, yeah. It's his curse. He needs to be free. Seeing a dummy killing a demon. This show has no limit. This show's got no limits. Oh, is Sid gone now? Is he gone? Is Sid gone now? Is he free of the curse? So the dummy is now literally just a ventriloquist dummy now. Oh, wow. That's one hell of a show.
I don't get it.
That's the beauty of cinema. No one ever really gets it.
They prophesied that I should kill my father, but he is dead and hidden deep in the soil.
Oh,
But surely
boy.
I must fear my mother's bed.
Oh, God, they're doing Oedipus.
Oedipus, unhappy Oedipus. That is all I can call you.
Oh,
and all
God, they're
that I
doing
ever
Oedipus of all stories. Really? Oedipus?
Darkness, ill deeds I have done.
Oh, Oedipus definitely did some ill deeds. Oh boy, okay, that was a fun little post-credit scene. That was fun. So yeah, fun episode there with a talent show and a dummy gone slightly potentially evil to good to remaining as good as well. I was really worried. I was really worried they'd actually pull some kind of surprise dummies evil again kind of twist in the end there, but they didn't. They didn't. Still got my kind of inklings about the principal though. Still don't feel good. My spidey senses are tingling when it comes to the principal. So I'm gonna keep listening to those spidey senses and actually remain wary of him. So there's that. But yeah, no, I think yeah, had an interesting, a pretty interesting premise with like the I think as soon as I found out it was a talent show, I was intrigued and I was like, okay, so like either you know so someone must play like some kind of evil kind of thing, or like talent show wise, then you know it brings talent shows can often bring a lot of different tools into the kind of play area and actually kind of give people especially give the writers a lot of creativity to actually work with and like a lot of space to work with in terms of what they want to do with their new kind of Buffy story and everything. So or like just like a new horror story in general. So that was that seemed really intriguing. But then as soon as they revealed that dummy was going to be involved, I was like, I think we can all tell where this is headed. I think it's probably suitable to apply predictable there, like that's what's gonna happen. But I think it wasn't even predictable in like a bad way too, like in like a bad way either. It wasn't predictable in a way that's like, you know, oh, I can tell. Like I did say I did feel quite I did feel quite a few times like, oh, I can pretty easily tell where this is going and how this is gonna end. But at the same time, it's like, you know, it was still it still kept me on my toes and it was still kind of creative enough to keep me kind of intrigued and it could get me wanting to see exactly how it played. Like even if I knew how it might play out, you know, like it still kind of kept me guessing and still kind of kept me wanting to actually see it play out that way, and still felt like a kind of very minimalistically like payoff and everything. So it felt kind of predictably fun and predictable in like a fun way. So that was good. stuff like ventriloquist dummies and horror. I mean, you know, puppets and dummies and horror in horror don't generally kind of mix, or like dolls as well in horror. I mean, I think dolls and horror are more notorious, but then you also do like a bit more of a niche from that kind of diverges from that stuff is like dolls and dummies and puppets and everything. So you know, I think especially like dolls, like I think again Chucky, I think it is easily one of, if not the most notorious kind of dolls in the kind of horror movie genre and everything. Never watched a Chucky movie in my life. I've been curious about checking them out, but I've never really found like the time or like the kind of meaning to. And I think they actually did recently do like an actual Chucky kind of TV series too. I think I've seen like a few people that I follow have actually been kind of reacting to that and actually been giving it fairly positive reviews too. So I think don't know like if that actually kind of connects into like directly into the kind of movies too. Because I think there's quite a few movies. I think like the entire movie franchise is actually quite big, and there's like an actual like the different kind of sequels and different kind of areas where the story actually interconnects, and other areas where I think it doesn't. But there's quite a few movies to my knowledge, and then now the most recent kind of installment has been the new TV series and everything. So at some point I may check them out. I think I'm gonna obviously gonna have to check out the movies first, but I think at some point that may happen. So curious to kind of get into that at some point too. But I think Chucky to my knowledge is the most like again like the most kind of infamous and the most kind of famous and notorious kind of like horror movie kind of entry when it comes to like inanimate objects kind of coming to life and being possessed by evil spirits and demons and everything. So there's that. So I think I kind of got like Chucky-ish kind of vibes, especially like the whole kind of movement of like of the doll kind of of the dummy kind of running across the floor and scuttling across the floor and pouncing and you know using the knife attacks and everything and stuff like that. So you know yeah, I think with Chucky too. I think Chucky actually has like scars on his face too. Like he actually has like I mean he's a doll, so I don't know exactly how the scars would work. I mean if they came with the doll, or if he actually like if it's like in the actual kind of fiction of the lore and the story, like if he actually got sliced up in a fight and then he applied stitches, or I don't know how it would work, but I think he actually has like scars on his face and everything. But with the dummy in this episode, just scar free, got off like pretty much kind of pristine quality throughout the entire episode, so that was good. But yeah, and I think as the episode went on, I think more stuff just kind of got teased and talked about, and kind of got me theorizing as the episode went on. I think the more I go, I think this episode, I think with these episodes too, I think these episodes do kind of run like 20 to 40 minutes through, but then it's like so much happens in like both in between each scene, but then the scenes themselves kind of seem kind of like relatively short in some aspects. They like it just kind of seems to jump from one thing to another. So I'm like, I think if it feels like I'm talking a lot during the reactions, then that's why. Because like for me, like even the way I process it, it's like like the scenes jump from one to another very quickly, and then like a lot of stuff happens during those scenes. So just kind of like instinctively, kind of me thinking it's either me thinking out loud or me actually reacting, and then the two just kind of get muddled up, and it feels like I'm actually talking a lot. So yeah, I mean, talking a lot has been a problem for me in the past, so if it does get in the way of any enjoyment, then I do sincerely apologize. But, I sometimes have a lot to say, so, and it sometimes just comes out, so, yeah. But no, I think the thing with this one, I think it did pretty much kind of get me theorizing and speculating, like, pretty much as it went on, like, me kind of, analyzing and jumping kind of from point to point as I usually do, which isn't really anything kind of weird. But with this one, I think it actually helped me kind of theorize like different things and actually jump from theory to theory to from starting with like the dummy likely being the one that's evil in this episode and probably being possessed and starting to kill people, and then maybe doing like a whole Chucky thing, and then going from there to it being possessed by a demon, but then also as soon as you mentioned, I think as soon as Morgan mentioned that he actually got the voice from doing impressions of his dad, because then we've already had an episode like I think in the witch episode we had the mother who actually body swapped with her daughter, and then like that whole thing happens, and then it did not seem that far fetched to me to think that maybe the dad died, but then he ended up actually maybe he ended up actually possessing the doll and possessing the dummy, and then trying to control his son that way, and actually trying to stay in his son's life that way too. So maybe he actually, I mean, yeah, like I think maybe controlling his son's life that way, but then also actually trying to stay with his son that way too. Like even in death, he was still trying to stay with his son and trying to actually trying to stay within his son's life and stay in the land of the living too. So maybe he possessed a doll and then just ended up being able to. But then, but then, even if that was the case, I was kind of curious as to, okay, like how would it work then? Like if he's kind of going around killing people, because then we've already had the really abusive mother storyline. So then, would it we wouldn't need? I mean, we would not need to see an abusive father storyline too. But then, would it be that he's abusive, or would it be that he's maybe because maybe he's the dad is staying with his son to protect him. Maybe he's actually like a maybe the son, maybe the son is kind of like being bullied throughout school. Maybe he's actually like a victim of bullying or something, and like him being like a ventriloquist kind of voice actor kind of thing is his outlet and his kind of his hobby or something. But then he's bullied because of it, and then the dad dies. But then he actually his spirit possesses the dummy, and then his dad turns into an actual killer dummy and everything, and she starts going around killing people because of that or something. So just a few that that were actually bouncing around in my head. But then no, it turns out that Sid is actually so then I can't help but wonder what Sid's connection to Morgan actually was. I think I'm not sure if they actually ever explained that in the actual episode. I think the entire time Morgan was just drained. The entire time Morgan was just drained, and he, I don't know if Sid was aware of that or if he actually tried to prevent it or if he actually tried to do something with it. I think Sid was in the dummy all along pretty much. I think pretty much he was in the dummy all along. But then Morgan was the one with the actual brain cancer, and he was actually suffering, and he was actually kind of being drained from actually keeping this whole kind of act going and everything. And then in the end, he just gets his brain stolen too. He actually has his head carved open, and his brain gets stolen, and then left behind. Like his brain gets stolen, but then it's revealed that his brain is intellectually healthy, but then actually physically he's got like the brain cancer going on. So then the brain won't last long. So then it's just tossed aside. So he died for fucking nothing. So fucking poor Morgan, poor Morgan. He went through all of that, and then got his brain taken, the brain ripped out, and then in the end, because of his health condition, it's like, Demon's like, can't use this brain, and then just toss it aside. So Jesus, I think I'm wondering like if there are actually funerals for any of the people who actually die in this season in this show. I mean, in this season, I'm guessing maybe once the season once the show progresses, maybe they actually do start taking deaths a bit more seriously. Because I think they've just so far what they've done is just explaining the deaths away. So like the deaths of the principal, the deaths of all the kids who've died before, and now Morgan too. It's like so far it seems like they've just kind of explained the deaths away, or actually just pretty much explained how they've gone and then just kind of pushed them to the back of the kind of previousness of the show. It doesn't really seem like they've actually doesn't really seem like they're like the kids are being missed, or there's been funerals or any actual kind of like memoriam being given to them, because they are still kids. They're they're actively I mean, not friends of Buffy and Willow or Xander, but they're still their classmates. They're still other innocent kids who are being killed off and everything, and they're being kind of still being fed for the sake of plot convenience and kind of plot being driven forward and everything. But then that's it. That's pretty much all they're being used for. So then it's watching this is it especially knowing this is kind of live action too. It's you're watching actual real people acting out these roles, and actually, or not the actors themselves, but you're watching other side characters, but then those side characters are still meant to be people in the actual kind of fiction of the story. So it's kind of hard not to feel for them when they suffer for the sake of our main characters kind of actually discovering new horrors and actually being heroes at the end of the day and everything. So I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who feels like that, but it just kind of feels kind of weird. And I think especially with this episode too, actually knowing that Morgan went through that, like him constantly being drained, and then him being hunted by the demon, and then or getting that kind of an ending just kind of seems just seems really kind of really pitiful, pretty much, and really kind of really sorrowful and everything. So yeah. So yeah, then Sid turned out to be I think the twist with Sid. The twist with Sid. He was a demon hunter. He was a demon hunter. So I think the demon hunters exist in this world. See that kind of stuff makes me wish that Buffy and Supernatural would have had a crossover. That kind of stuff makes me wish, because I know Buffy came over. I mean, what year would Buffy have ended? Because I think Supernatural started in 2005, so would Buffy have ended around that point, or would Buffy have lasted that long? I don't know what year Buffy ended, but I'm really curious, like if Buffy actually lasted long enough into Supernatural's run, like could they? I mean, then like Supernatural would still have been establishing itself and actually kind of picking itself up off the ground with its own first season. So I think but Buffy probably wouldn't have lasted long enough into Supernatural's run for that fan base to try and. I mean, maybe not. I mean, maybe for the fans themselves to be wishful enough with their thinking, but the kind of studios and the actual producers probably wouldn't be kind of familiar enough with each other, or actually kind of connected with each other enough to actually think, oh, this could actually work. But I feel like maybe in absence of a Supernatural and a Buffy crossover, in absence of a Supernatural and Buffy crossover, we got Supernatural and Scooby Doo. We got Scooby Natural's crossover, which is awesome. But I feel like a Supernatural and Buffy crossover would have actually been amazing. But like Willow and Sam would have gotten along swellingly. Yeah, Willow and Sam. Oh, okay, I think I might need to check out. Once I get deep enough into the show, I might need to check out some Supernatural and Buffy crossover fanfic. I might need to check out some of that fanfic, because I think Buffy. No, no. Buffy and Dean, they would have gotten along swellingly. Buffy and Dean would have gotten along swellingly. Just kicking back, drinking beers, and reminiscing about all the times they've killed monsters. Um, Sam and Willow, Charlie and Willow. They would have been great. So Charlie and Willow, and or Sam and Willow. Sam and Willow just kind of like just being hacker buddies together, and then Charlie and Willow being the exact same thing, like them being their own little trio of like computer experts and everything. Who would Xander and Castiel? Oh, Xander and Castiel. Okay, I'm setting myself up for some really high expectations with the fanfic here. Yeah, Xander and Castiel would have been the funniest. That would have been the funniest duo. Xander and Castiel would be the funniest possible duo. They'd be the funniest duo. That whole trio, just Team Free Will, and I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a name for the team that Buffy, Willow, and Xander and Giles are. I think Giles and Bobby. Okay, okay. I'm really hyping myself up with all these imaginary pairings. I'm hyping myself up with all these imaginary pairings. But yeah. No, that would have been great. Yeah, Supernatural and Buffy. That would have been a crossover for the ages. That would have been a crossover for the ages. That would have been, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Oh God. I need to get myself. I need to get myself far enough into the show. I mean, if you guys have any kind of recommendations for that kind of, if any kind of safe to read fanfics between Supernatural and Buffy, by all means, leave some links in the comments, and I'll be happy to check them out. But I think once I get far enough into the show that I can actually remain kind of spoiler free, then I need to actually check out some other kind of stuffs. So yeah, Supernatural and Buffy. That would be. That would have been a crossover. That would have been a crossover. So yeah. So yeah, no, so Sid was a demon hunter. I almost forgot what my original point was. Yeah, so but yeah, Sid was a demon hunter. I think demon hunter. Demon hunters. I guess, but I guess you can probably pluralize and actually say that there were others out there, but he was one of them. He was a demon hunter. And stuff, and he killed 6 of the 7 brothers. I think Giles explained there was actually a brotherhood of demons that had 7 members, and they were all kind of dedicated to actually kind of harvesting vital human organs like hearts and brains to actually try and make themselves become human, instead of actually retaining their kind of demonic figure and everything. But yes, I think six of them managed to be killed by Sid. Don't know how many. I don't know if you mentioned how many of them he killed outside of the human form and inside of the dummy form. But I think he did imply, or like he did mention that he'd been in the dummy form for quite a while. So I think he must have he managed to successfully finish off the demon in dummy form in this episode. So I think it's fair to say that he might have. Not to say he couldn't have had not to say he couldn't have had assistance before, but I think with or without assistance, he's managed to kill 6 of the my elbow. Oh God. he's managed to kill 6 of the other the members of the Brotherhood of Demons. That really hurt my elbow. But no, he managed to kill 6 of them, and I think he even mentioned I think upon learning upon learning that Buffy was the Slayer, he had actually managed to meet a in human form. I love that he specified it was in human form. That he and a Slayer from the 30s, a Korean woman who was a Slayer from the 30s, actually managed to fight together, but then they also had like somewhat of like a relationship together. So he actually specified, don't worry, it was in human form. I mean, I'm sure there's been some kind of movie or some kind of story out there where like one person is a human and their partner or like someone they're interested in is in like a non-human form, and it's been really freaky. I mean, we had the B movie, and people were more than happy to run for the hills or to run for the hills with all sorts of insinuations as to what that meant. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I'm pretty sure. And I think there's also Howard the Duck too. I think Howard the Duck has like an actual human romantic interest in that movie. So I don't know. I'm sure. Again, there's stories out there where one person in a relationship is non-human and the other person is human. So I think it's happened. But in this case, he was quick to specify that he actually was in fact human at the time of the relationships and everything. So it was pretty dummy. He was pretty dummy. But no, he was a demon hunter, and in the end he turned out to be good too. He thought Buffy was the demon for whatever reason. He thought she was one to look out for. So I wonder then if he was using Sid to try and track down the demon. But then I think Sid dying was just like Sid being drained. I think then maybe it was just like because I think they also checked his school record and found out that he was actually off like for half the year because of the migraines and because of the brain cancer and everything. So I think him feeling drained and him feeling really down and like dying was because he was dying was actually because of the brain cancer thing. I think that kind of stuff was pretty much unrelated to any of the ventriloquism. But I do wonder then if maybe Morgan knew about the whole demon stuff, because then I think I find it hard to believe that Sid could actually get away with half of the demon hunting he was doing without Morgan knowing. So then I do wonder if maybe he explained it to Morgan and he actually kind of told him what his mission was, and maybe if Morgan would he actually enlisted Morgan's aid, or if he kind of did manage to kind of use Morgan in some way to actually try and get his mission done. But in the end, Morgan himself was not cut out to make it to the end of the story. So, R.I.P. to Morgan. He was a good kid. He was a good kid, straight A student. He was trying to trying to use Sid for something normal, and for once trying to actually use him for something entertaining and being a ventriloquist and everything. So, R.I.P. to him. But yeah, no, Sid. So he hunted demons, got trapped in a dummy, and he killed six of the brothers. I mean, 6 out of 7 in a brotherhood, and now finally 7. He went out, finally rectifying that, but then also taking out kind of 7 of the 7 evil kind of forces of darkness in the world. So props to Sid. Props to Sid. And yeah, Cordelia was back. So that was fun. She looked great. She looked great. She had like a cute kind of thing. Not like a turtleneck or anything. I just draw my face. I think not like a turtleneck or anything, but I think like a folded turtlenecky kind of collar and like short sleeves. And it was like it looked like the fluffy. Honestly, like one of the warmest, fluffiest jumpers I've ever seen. This kind of cardigan is warm enough on its own, and it's kind of like kind of relatively skin tight, so it actually keeps me warm on Christmas. Now it's Christmas morning. Now it's officially Christmas morning, so it's like midnight. It's Christmas morning. So happy Christmas again. Happy holidays. But yeah, no. Yeah, no. What was I gonna say? Like, I think it looked like a great jump, and she herself is just like she looks gorgeous too. She's an interesting character in and of herself too. Like her personality kind of leaves a lot to be desired too. I think I'm I think I'm probably this early in the show or the season. She's probably meant to be still kind of somewhat seen as the kind of annoying kind of bully kind of character, but still she looks great. She's gorgeous and everything. So Charisma Carpenter, she is gorgeous. So there's no denying that. But she looked great, and she was back trying to sing. There was an attempt to sing, and she definitely made an attempt. So that much is commendable. But not really much else happened. I think we had her again like a couple of episodes ago. I think at least it was like like in like the first few episodes. first few episodes of the season that she kind of felt more prominent, and then after that, like I think after episode 4 or 5, I think it's kind of felt more like she's here and she's either here or she's over there somewhere. So like she I think now she just kind of pops in and out whenever she feels like it, or like whenever the writers feel like really using her and everything. So there's that, but she was back and she, was still her kind of usual kind of mean and like a very very kind of like Buffy oriented in her meanness and everything. So there's this is the usual Cordelia for now. So there's that, but she was still cool. She was still cool. So Cordelia was back, and she was back. And I think Willow had a really cute jumper too. I think Willow. I mean Willow had like a very very cute and casual kind of jumper, but then with Cordelia, I think she obviously is like the popular girl. She has to she feels like she has to look good and she has to look she has to look good and she has to look gorgeous and she has to look really classy at times and everything. So she kind of prides herself on that. So I think with that, like her jumper looked a lot more kind of expensive and really kind of fashionable and fancy. Whereas with Willow, it's just like hers was genuinely a lot kind of cuter and more casual with its colors and its kind of design and everything. So I don't know why I'm judging, like, or like not judging, but I don't know why I'm kind of speculating on jumpers. It is like both of them had their qualities. They both had their qualities, and then and the girls wearing them both had their individual qualities too. So Willow's looked great too. So I mean, Willow looks great all the time. So there's that. But yeah, I just thought they just had really cool jumpers on. So I for some reason I thought that was really kind of discussion worthy. So yeah, but yeah, cool jumpers and cool girls. So yeah, and then we had Mr. Snyder. So Mr. Snyder is the sus new principal. He is a sus. I mean, honestly, if this episode was like a game, like a match of Among Us or something, then I would be voting him off. I would be voting his shady ass off. Like from the first 20 minutes of meeting him, he just seemed way too sus and way too kind of antagonistic towards kids. Like the same kids he's supposed to be protecting. I think his mentality towards kids was very much stated by himself to be very different than his predecessors. And he put shame. I mean, he disrespected Mr. Flutie's name, claiming that his kind of touchy feeling, or like claiming that Principal Flutie's like openness and his actual kind of kindness to, or like his like overall kindness towards kids was what got him killed. When no, it was teenagers being possessed by hyenas that got him killed. So there was that, and then he was eaten. I mean, even then that wouldn't even make any sense because then even then Giles said that the official report was that he was eaten by a wild dog. So then. Like, I don't see any way in which his openness or his kindness towards kids would result in wild dogs. I think if he's open and kind towards kids, and if he's so touchy-feely towards kids, then that would just kind of mean that, like, kids then feel like they can actually go to him, and that he's safe and everything, and stuff, and then, somehow, like wild dogs, like there's no correlation between him being open and, touchy-feely towards kids, like him being open and kind of caring towards kids, like there's no correlation between that and wild dogs breaking into his office and actually munching on his bones and stuff. So don't know what Snyder was going for there, but either way, that was his mentality, and his extra mentality was also that he felt like kids need to be disciplined and everything, and like his whole energy and his whole kind of view on the job and the kids in the school too kind of made Giles refer to him as a Führer and everything, which was worrying, which was worrying to say the least. It was worrying to say the least, but there was that, and then of course he immediately comes out of nowhere and he catches Willow and Willow and Xander and Buffy. He immediately catches them out on them mocking the concept of the talent show and even trying to actually rub that kind of mockery in Giles's face, being like, "Oh, you were once the almighty watcher and now you're the producer of the talent show and everything." And then he's just like, "Oh, so you think the talent show is nothing but a joke? Well, then I'm sure you'll be happy to participate in said joke as a punishment for your words and your views on the thing." And then Giles in the background just cannot help but look so smug that, not 2 seconds ago they were mocking him for having to be in charge of this thing, and then now they themselves having to participate in it. So Giles' smugness needs to be kind of screenshotted and just framed for posterity and everything. So that much is great. That much is really great. So yeah. But I mean, yeah, I think even with Snyder, like there were some really kind of shady shots too. Like even with Buffy going down into the basement of the whole performing area of the town show and everything, and then like Snyder just materializing on the stairs and being like, "Oh, it's not safe for a girl like you to be down here all by herself. Anything could happen, like him being all creepy there, and even easily the creepiest shot, like him being in the shadows with the light behind him, and you not being able to see his face at all. But then Giles walking into the light, and you seeing his face, and him spotting Snyder in the shadows in his silhouette. And then I think this is such a well shot scene, but it's like, like I think easily what makes it creepy is what makes it creepy is the fact that you can't see Snyder's face at all. You can't see him. You just see his silhouette, and he's just like, I think, props to the actor for actually using body language so well in that scene to make it even creepier. But then the way he just kind of like slowly turns around and then walks off and slinks off into the shadows again and stuff. And then even that scene kind of like showed off Snyder in like a really creepy light and everything. So part of me feels like maybe he really is just like a really stern and really firm, like more firm than fair and really stern kind of character who really means well and is trying to do well, but then he just comes across as really kind of angry and really kind of antagonizing and really kind of strict and everything, but then he actually means well. But then part of me also believes there's going to be some kind of a twist where he ends up being evil and he ends up kind of being this kind of evil force, and maybe it's actually going to be built up to maybe it's going to be built up to the season finale too. Maybe it's actually going to be built up that he's actually working for someone, like maybe I don't know if he's gonna be working for the master, but I think, like maybe he's gonna be maybe he's gonna be either working for the master, or maybe he's gonna be like an evil force of his own that's kind of building up his power by being in Sunnydale, by being in by being at the Hellmouth and everything. He's actually there to try and do something to the kids, or he's there to do something to the town or to the school or something, and he's actually building up his power over the next few episodes. And then by the finale, we'll actually get to see him kind of being who he really is, if that is the case. But either way, I think he's just kind of written to be this kind of really kind of unlikable and this really kind of like unnerving kind of character already. I think which is the intention, but then it's like kind of leaves the audience guessing, like, is he actually evil, or is he a principal that actually means well, or is he a principal that actually means well, but then he just doesn't really connect with the other characters like well enough for that to really kind of come across initially. So. And yeah, Buffy has. I think Buffy has a fear of has a. I think she either has a fear of, or like a kind of discomfort around kind of dummies too. So I think that's kind of like a really cool tidbit to have too, because I think it definitely kind of adds a bit more depth and a bit more humanization to her character too, like to her character too, in the sense that like I think she's meant to be the Slayer, but she's not meant. I think she's not really meant to be like a fearless Slayer. I think even then, I think even then when it comes to fearlessness, I think the kind of quote I always kind of fall back on is that is the I think it's a third Doctor quote from Doctor Who. I think it's the third Doctor who says it. I think it's like courage isn't a matter of not being afraid. I don't know exactly how I don't know how it goes word for word, but I think it's like along the lines of like courage isn't a matter of not being afraid, but it's about being frightened about what you're gonna have to do, but then doing it anyway. It's about being brave enough to power through that and actually maybe even use that to your advantage or something. But it's about being frightened, but still doing what needs to be done. So I think that kind of I think that understanding of fearlessness, it is kind of what's best applied to heroes like Buffy, to actually try and actually humanize them a bit more and actually make them a bit more relatable. And I think it's also very applicable to Buffy in both in the sense of her having fears of her own and her having kind of things that she's afraid of, but then also like even like her in like her in the moment kind of fight or flight mode of like her kind of actually wondering whether to stay and fight or to actually run and kind of like regroup and kind of prepare and everything. But then even further, I think in this case even further, it's like her having like an actual fear of dummies. I think in this episode too, like her fear is explored in like a much more debilitating way too. Because I think if in any other case, I felt like in almost any other case, I feel like she'd easily be able to actually tackle the threat head on with some sense of actual kind of intimidation. Like she'd be able to intimidate her kind of threat and actually try and show it that it has no power over her, and then she actually is the more courageous one in this one. But then upon actually finding out just how kind of sentient and how alive Sid is, or how alive Sid might be, it's almost kind of like debilitating to her and everything. So I think she gets a she gets a pass on the bedroom scene with the dummy literally climbing through the window and actually kind of attacking her in her own bed. I think she gets a pass because I think anyone would be absolutely shit scared of something like that happening. So I think she definitely gets a pass for that. But still, I think even then, like actually kind of like hearing her scream and actually seeing her like running into her mother's arms too, I think that is a very human thing. Especially I think in that case, I think especially like when you're in your room alone at night, you're very vulnerable. So I think in that case, like like Slayer or not, you'd easily kind of kind of retreat into safety and into comfort and everything, because then she, you know, despite being the Slayer, I think she can't really be expected to actually keep Slayer mode on 24/7. Like even she needs her kind of moments of being a human and being a person and everything. So in that sense, I think especially with her mother being home too, I think she naturally kind of you know like retreats into the comfort of her mother's arms and into her mother's kind of awareness and everything. So I think that kind of thing was really kind of oddly sweet to see, and oddly kind of like a very human thing to see too. So that was really cool. But just overall, like the concept of her having like an actual fear of dummies in this was actually explored kind of pretty well. Like for the kind of amount of time they had, and for the time they had to actually spend on Buffy being afraid of them, they explored it fairly well and actually kind of actually like the message got across that, you know, like this is something that Buffy is kind of afraid of, and also just kind of like she just kind of has like an aversion to and everything. So, and I think especially with the kind of revelation of the dummy being alive becoming more and more real, I think it definitely kind of got to her even more after that too. Like, cause then it's like, you know, cause then she's caught between the mindset of actually being the Slayer who's kind of destined and trained and fought and like, you know, designed to fight these things, but then also being the Buffy who's actually afraid of these things and actually is actually really creeped out by them and wants to stay away from them as much as possible. So that whole dilemma comes into effect too. So that was an interesting thing to explore. So that was fun. But yeah, I think yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like an interesting thing to explore. Just like her having fears and her actually being afraid of like things in like a very human way too. Like not even being afraid of death, but just kind of being afraid of a dummy in the same way that people might have arachnophobia or like claustrophobia or like you know, being afraid of clowns or any of the kind of things that have been used in that way too. So that was interesting. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got for this one. I think that doesn't really kind of, it definitely also just seems like a, you know, fun, funky little kind of horror episode. Didn't really kind of seem like it really dove into a whole lot story-wise. Just a fun little episode with the dummy that turned out to actually be a hero in the end. So that was cool. But yeah, it didn't really kind of seem like there's a whole lot else to really go on. So I think again, first season, you know, I feel like I've said this like the past few episodes, but still, just, you know, first season seems really kind of nifty and really kind of creative and really funky and everything. So I'm loving that much about it and can't wait to get into more of it. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the reaction too. And again, hopefully you guys are having a great holiday season. You know, regardless of whether you celebrate or not, hopefully you guys are, you know, like finding something to celebrate or finding something to enjoy about it. And if you do celebrate, then hopefully you're having a great Christmas this year. I think again, past, you know, like this year, couple of last year, not been the best year for pretty much anybody. So hopefully you are finding like some way to find some kind of silver lining or some positivity in it. You know, thank you for being here. You know, thank you for being here for like this year and last year. Thank you for sticking around and supporting the channel. It's been a rocky road in more ways than one for all of us, but the fact that you guys are still here to this day supporting the channel and watching reactions and watching me laugh, cry and cheer and sometimes all in one go means more than you know. So hopefully we can all kind of go into the new year with some fresh hopes and fresh dreams and big boosts to all the things that we want to do, and hopefully I can share more awesome reactions with you guys and share some more kind of emotions and everything. So yeah, just thank you for being here, and hopefully, you know, you're, you know, celebrating with, you know, either with people or even if you're celebrating by yourself, hopefully you can still find a way to enjoy yourself and maybe even actually take some time to actually self-care for once for Christmas as well. So yeah, thank you and happy holidays and everything. So yeah, thanks for being here, for watching the video and everything. Comment your thoughts down below. And once again, full length for those of you who are interested, over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. But yeah, so happy holidays and take care. So bye bye.